even the imaginary ones. I do a lot of imaginary paintings, like the Spirit House of Thailand, but they're based on images from the real world, always, and usually from vernacular, from folk architecture, from village buildings. I did a whole series on Angkor, but that's really one-off sort of thing for me. I'm usually rather looking at low-scale, small village architecture than grand monuments and giant tourist objects. So, for example, this painting is from the Kalash valleys in northwest Pakistan on the border of Afghanistan. So, for example, this painting is from the Kalash valleys in northwest Pakistan on the border of Afghanistan. The locals call those valleys Kafiristan, which means the valleys of the unbelievers, because the people in those three valleys are basically pagan and they worship the mountain goats and the spirits of the mountains. But they call themselves the Kalash people, so it's the Kalash valleys. Many of this building I documented in the mid-70s, 1976, 77. And it's now been destroyed, but it's been replaced by a sort of a horrible concrete structure. So this painting I did really as a monument, as a memorial for those times. Because it doesn't exist anymore. That area now is infested with the Taliban. I don't know how those people, these pagans, are dealing with surrounded by the Taliban. It seems that they're somehow still surviving. But it's a precarious situation, as you can imagine. But this building wasn't destroyed by the Taliban, from what I understand. It was rather probably sold off to a collector in the West. So carved wooden panels are probably sitting in some nice living room in Europe or something. I don't know. This is actually a dance hall. It's only used for one period of the year. Winter solstice. Around Christmas time they have a big party there, for a week-long party, and all the villagers from the three valleys gather there and they basically spend the week dancing. They make their own wine in those valleys, which is illegal in Pakistan, of course.
Interesting.
They make special shoes for dancing, like soft moccasins, red dyed, just to wear for this week-long party. And they sacrifice a lot of goats, so they eat goat meat, dance, party for a week, and that's the function of that building. But it's also a temple. There's a sort of a shelf in there with a few rocks on it. Nothing in particular that you can identify as a god, but it's actually a temple towards one of the deities of the mountains. And the paintings on front, paintings for that yearly festival. These paintings are renewed each year, but they're only done by the virgin boys of the village. And they're paintings of the mountain goats and the fairies in the mountains. So I was asking one of the informants, well, what do those images mean? There's little spots, black spots everywhere, so I asked, is that snow in the mountains? And he said, no, that's goat shit. And then the images of the person with the goat, is that one of the fairies in the mountains? Or is it somebody dancing with the goats? And he said, no, they're not dancing, they're fucking.